All right, so let's check it out. Here we are, round 12, Time Walk Magic, Justin Cohen versus Adam Johnston. Starting out here on table C. Take a look through these players' deck lists to see what they are running. Of course, the team on the left side of the screen from Madison, all-star players. Sam Black, known for his limited play. Top 8 at a Pro Tour not too long ago. Matt Severa, GP champion, has a bunch of wins for GPs under his belt.
Justin's playing a pretty aggressive build of the White-Black Vampires deck, and he's going to be up against Adam Johnston's Merfolk strategy here.
Sun Sentinel, the first play of the game here for Justin Cohen. 2-2 with Vigilance.
Yeah, the Vigilance is actually quite good in this format. The fact that you can attack and manipulate race math in a unique kind of way is much stronger than you would expect it to be.
Glengrove Stalker there for Adam Johnston. 2-1 Merfolk. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so a lot of the times just reads unblockable.
Absolutely. And, we've talked earlier this weekend about how Raptor Companion got a bit worse with all the token production. Ooh, Squire's Devotion. But, that card dodges that token problem completely by being unblockable in that sense. And
this is really nice, Squire's Devotion, too, on this Sun Sentinel, because it enables just a swing in and then a blocker available now for that Glengrove Stalker.
Yeah, and I mean, that's right now, that was already a 6-point life swing for Justin Cohen, and it also completely puts the brakes on for Adam here.
Adam Johnston unable to find any blue mana yet. Jungleborn Pioneer, the play here, will bring along a Merfolk token. We've talked about this card quite a lot too. A nice way to kind of get yourself working up towards Ascend as the game continues.
Yeah, you get 2 cards toward Ascend, you get 2 bodies, just a great deal for 3 mana.
Back over to Justin Cohen. Squire's Devotion, definitely kind of a format-defining card, at least so far as the format has been defined thus far, which is, we're very early. The set just got released a few days ago.
Yeah, Squire's Devotion, I think, is particularly lends itself to this team-limited format where you're, you don't really have to get those other pieces necessarily later on in the draft. You don't have to trust that you're going to pick up cards like Slippery Scoundrel. You just know whether or not you have them. And when you're able to make those combinations, it gets exceptionally powerful. And it's a really good card on its own to begin with.
All right, here we go. Captain's Hook from Justin Cohen. We're going to be playing some Vampirates here. +2/+0 and Menace, equip cost of 1. Really powerful card that we've seen be pretty exciting in a few games this weekend.
Yeah, one of the really cool things about Captain's Hook in a Vampire stack is that you can put it on these life-linking tokens. And suddenly all these tokens that kind of have just a little bit of value on their own, they become real threats all by themselves. And suddenly your opponent needs to start using cards to deal with things that you just haphazardly produced.
Jungle Delver here for Adam Johnston. A little late, but I suppose always as capable of getting some counters as the game moves forward.
Yeah, in the early game, you're looking to get a Jungle Delver down, maybe chip in a point or 2, and then later on, when you have nothing else to do with your mana, it's a nice way to sink it all.
Jungleborn Pioneer in for the attack here. 3 green mana up for Adam Johnston. Justin Cohen not going to bite. Johnston throws the turn back.
Yeah, an interesting series of events there, because if Adam Johnston is representing a card like Crash the Ramparts, then it kind of makes it hard for Justin to attack too, because if there's a Crash the Ramparts, then he's going to have to play around that both on offense and on defense. So he's going to want to have some sort of trick in his hand to have some counterplay to that, or he might just want to start attacking with this token that has the Captain's Hook on it.
Yeah, just like you mentioned, able to buff up this token and has lifelink. Nice little card to add to the Vampire strategy. Anointed Deacon, you're not the only one who can play this game. Justin here drove to the GP. nearby, his hometown. Came along with his mom, I believe. Came down for the trip.
Oh, Justin's mom came?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. I haven't seen as much of him recently. For a little while, he was at a lot of GPs.
Yeah, I think he's taken a step back, but since this was so close to his hometown, he figured he'd just drive, and he's got a great team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he has done well at team events with these two in the past. Or at least with Sam. Was Matt with them when they top 4'd previously? I don't remember. That's okay.
Swings in here, gains some life. Follows it up with a Martyr of Dusk. Justin Cohen back up to 24. Adam Johnston down to 14. Martyr of Dusk, another card that has just overperformed.
Yeah, again, definitely one of the really great 2-drops. And, I mean, it only has 1 toughness, but as far as defense goes, as far as playing a longer game goes, just an incredible card. It's really sticky as far as threats go. You know, your opponent is going to have a tough time getting through if they don't have something like trample or some type of evasion. And the fact that it makes that life-linking token, that can have a lot of extra value if you have cards that make your vampires matter, or equipment like the Captain's Hook that we see on the table right now.
Makes trading off with it feel super bad, too.
Oh, yeah.
I think I see a Crashing Tide in hand for Adam Johnston.
And he's going to get some good value off of that because of the Squire's Devotion on Justin Cohen's side.
And there it is. Sun Sentinel back to Cohen's hand. Squire's Devotion down. Crashing Tide, be able to draw a card as well.
I see an Elder Dinosaur in Adam's hand here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's some spice. Merfolk and Dinosaurs teaming up. Justin Cohen draws a land for turn.
I might have been wrong, though. It might have actually been a Strength of the Pack.
Oh, well.
Which could be more impressive, to be honest.
In his deck.
Yeah.
That basically is an Elder Dinosaur. Strength of the Pack, we saw it in play yesterday, where it had to sadly put 2 counters on a single 0-4. Sun Sentinel back down again for Justin Cohen, who I want to say is holding a Sanctum Seeker, but no second source of black mana in hand. Sanctum Seeker was my favorite card from Ixalan, hands down. Whenever Vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. It's a 3/4 for 4. I played it in Standard. I loved it so much. Turns out that deck, not quite good enough to get there back then, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, 4 toughness in a world of dragons that can just kill it by attacking.
Yes.
It's, not the greatest.
Not the greatest.
But
we did get a mono white Vampires deck out of that format, though. So
yeah, that deck did quite well at the Pro Tour, I believe.
It did. It was neat to see something new there as well. Crested Herd Collar here for Adam Johnston. Brings along a 3/3 token.
And I love this card.
I mean, it's just been absurd every time we've seen it this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you get 6 points of trampling power for 5 mana across 2 bodies. You punish people for playing expensive removal spells. You punish people for playing smaller creatures. Like, what else are people doing in this format?
Fair point. All right, so we have found a second black mana source for Justin Cohen, but he's not anywhere near close enough closing out the game against Adam Johnston to play that Sanctum Seeker, just swing and not care if your creatures die or not. But it's going to hit the table here nonetheless. 3/4 body on it, matches up quite well against those dinos, but I would be very surprised if Adam Johnston wasn't holding a few tricks, something like River Herald's Boon.
And a nice 8-point life swing there for Justin, attacking with that hooked up vampire token.
Vampirate. In it swings. Yeah, not really any good options for blocking here for Adam.
2 p.m. event. Once again,
Takes down the token, gains a bunch of life, and all he needed was a 1/1 life-linking vampire. I'll take that trade.
Yeah, happily.
Hook equips to the Martyr of Dusk and passes back over to Johnston.
Yeah, and the menace that the hook grants can be really good if you have instant speed removal and or combat tricks. You can get your opponent to be punished pretty badly.
I see a 1 with the win in hand as well for Johnston.
And it works quite well with the hexproof token that he has there.
Looks like he's interested in playing it. He's at 10 life though. Has assembled a pretty solid wall of defense. Is now the time he's going to start getting aggressive. Indeed it is. Jungleborn Pioneer swings in for 4 in the air. And Pounce is the follow-up play. Only 1 white mana available to Justin Cohen. Down goes a Sanctum Seeker. Great turn for Adam.
Yeah, Adam seems to there's still plenty of gas. Justin here, only 2 cards remaining in his hand. He's fallen very far behind on board now.
I feel like he's got some Luminous Bonds in hand. And I say some because I think he has 2.
Yeah, not really any good targets for those quite yet, though.
Martyr of Dusk is going to attack here with Menace. Johnston will put in the Crested Herd color in the Jungle Delver. Martyr of Dusk will die. In its place comes a lifelinker. Martyr of Dusk number 2. Oh, that's why I thought he had 2, because Martyr of Dusk looks so similar to Luminous Bonds.
Yeah, they both have that orangey hue on the right side of the art.
So Justin able to keep himself in it here with the help of that Captain's Hook, really.
Yeah, the Captain's Hook has gained him a lot of life thanks to it combining so well with these tokens. And Adam, despite having a much more impressive board, has...
And there we go. Luminous Bonds locks down the Jungle Pioneer. Gilt Grove Stalker and a 1/1 left over for Adam Johnston.
Yeah, and Adam was forced to put that 1 with the wind on the Pioneer instead of on his Hexproof token so that he could use the Pounce to deal with Justin Cohen's 3/4. And now, because of that Luminous Bonds, suddenly, you know, that's one of the reasons why he would not have wanted to do that, but he needed to, all things considered. I mean, you can't just let your opponent untap and start getting free life drains.
I believe Windstrider was the draw there for Adam Johnston.
And that's a nice draw when you have exactly 5 mana.
That was pretty impressive, though, from Justin Cohen. We can see Adam Johnston's board state compared to where it was at the start of his at the end of his last turn. Ooh, nice one here for him. Merfolk Mistbinder, Merfolk Lord. Other Merfolk you control get +1/+1, and rebuilding back up very quickly here with another Jungleborn Pioneer, bringing along another 1/1 hexproof creature token.
And with the knowledge that we have of that Windstrider that's in Adam Johnston's hand, this one looks very good for him at this point.
Yeah, Cohen was able to do a lot of work last round, or excuse me, last turn. But Adam Johnston's board just got built right back up again. Glint Grove Stalker in for 2.
Hey, kind of offering the trade here with Justin's Vampire token.
Justin will take it. Gain more life. And now he's living off the top of his deck. Meanwhile, Sam Black has won his first game against Mike Zeimentz. Matt Severa down a game to Sean Ryder.
Sam Black has a really cool red-black control deck featuring 2 different Elder Dinosaurs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Atali and Tetsumak.
Tetsumak? I love that. Attack here from Cohen will force some trades from Adam. Yet another Vampire Lifelinker in play for Justin. Curious to see what he drew for the turn. Territorial Hammerskull. There's a card that likes to put on the beats.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card.
I mean, he keeps forcing the issue to Adam Johnston. Pressure, 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 despite his board being usually more impressive at the start of Justin's turn.
Now Adam Johnston passing the turn here with the Windstrider in hand and the mana to cast it. Important to note that Windstrider will be a 4/4 because of the Mistbinder. So if Justin Cohen suits up this token with the hook and sends it in, Adam Johnston can just eat that with his 4/4 flyer that has flash now.
I believe Justin Cohen drew a Forerunner of the Legion.
Pretty good card. Let's see.
Ooh, Territorial Hammerskull here. Looks like it's going to be wearing a captain's hook.
And I like that play from Justin because it's the only attack he has that's good against Windstrider here. And that would show some excellent recognition of what Adam Johnston's holding, especially because there's no reason to believe that he would have had it up until now.
I mean, it's so easy to forget about that card. Once you're playing with a new set, you're getting far fewer packs of Ixalan than you did previously in Sealed.
Yeah, so on the Sun Sentinel, same thing, 4 power. So even if Adam decides to go ahead and cast that Windstrider.
Great read by Justin.
I imagine Adam's going to trade 2 tokens for this. Justin can't hate that, though. He's at 28 life. And he can just go ahead and search his library for a Bishop of Rebirth.
Oh, really?
With that Forerunner.
And sure enough, here we go. 2 tokens. We'll trade off for the Sun Sentinel. And there it is, Forerunner of the Legion. Able to go and find a vampire for Justin Cohen. Whenever another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target vampire you control gets +1/+1. Sure enough, Bishop of Rebirth is exactly what Justin has pulled out of his deck to place on top. Once again, Justin's cleared the path here pretty well against Adam Johnston.
Yeah, I mean, he has grinded his way to board advantage over and over this game. And things seem to be looking like they're going well for him.
There's that flashed in Windstrider.
And now, thanks to the Forerunner of the Legion trigger, that Captain's Hook getting attached to that token becomes a very potent threat here against Adam.
Silvergill Adept draws Adam Johnston a card. No Merfolk revealed. Pays the extra cost. 2 cards in hand. I've just got to say, I am truly impressed with how Justin has played out this game so far.
Yeah, there have been a number of times where things looked very bad for him, and he managed to find a way to work his way toward victory.
Bishop of Rebirth here for Justin. Deciding which creature to give the bonus from the Forerunner to. Doing a little bit of math on the table, as you can see.
And, you know, if he does decide to go ahead and pump this Hammerskull, then he might put the hook on the Hammerskull and tap the Windstrider. That would mean that if Adam Johnston did want to block the Hammer Skull, and I mean, he's at 10, Hammer Skull's a really potent threat, that he would have to lose both the Mistbinder and the Adept. And I don't know if anybody else saw it, but I believe Adam Johnston in the last turn off that Silvergill Adept drew a Strength of the Pack.
Wow.
And that means he doesn't want to trade, but Justin may force him to, considering Adam's down to 10 life here.
And it's things like that you have to be constantly thinking about. What if my opponent has a Strength of the Pack for next turn? Where does that leave me?
Yeah.
Cards like that, which can so dramatically swing a game with just one card. Here's the attack from Justin. Territorial Hammer Skull will tap down that Windstrider.
And this is an even better attack.
In comes the token, in comes the Forerunner with the Captain's Hook. Both creatures in front of the Hammer Skull. Trade there, the Hammer Skull for the Merfolk Mistbinder. Passes back over to Adam. He is now at 4.
Yeah, just 4 against this grappling hook here. And if Adam, you know, if he tapped out for a card like Strength of the Pack, it would seem like his creatures would match up well, but because of the menace granted by the Captain's Hook, he would either have to double block that 4-power creature or block the other 2 creatures and take the 4, and he's only at 4 life, so.
There you have it. Justin Cohen picks up game 1 against Adam Johnston.
Beautifully played by Justin there.
All right, let's check in on table B. Black-Severa versus Sean Ryder. Sean in these non-tribal colors of white and blue versus some green-blue here from Black-Severa. Expel from Araska. We'll deal with this Glorifier of Dusk. Back on the top of Sean Ryder's library thanks to the city's blessing that Severa has secured.
Expel from Araska has been really impressive for me.
Oh yeah, 2 mana, bounce, city's blessing, put it on top of your library. Pretty hard tempo swing. Both players notably with the blessing. Only relevant for 1. We'll draw that Glorifier once again for Sean.
Black-Severa, it looks like he has a Crushing Canopy in hand. A card you normally are very happy to draw when you're playing against these blue-white decks, but no targets right now out of Sean.
Yeah, Black-Severa up against it here. You can see his Forerunner of the Heralds has been water-knotted, just a Siren Lookout here, which is forced to trade with Paladin of the Bloodstained. And there's that Glorifier of Dusk, Crushing Canopy. There from Severa will deal with the Water Knot.
And this Forerunner growing fast now. And that Crushing Canopy, yeah, turned out to be quite good.
Not only for flyers anymore.
Yes.
In comes Forerunner of the Heralds. And yeah, you're right, this card can get out of control super quickly. Played against it online the other day. I mean, the Merfolk deck obviously is one that wants to be completely full of Merfolk. And that creature can grow out of control. Ixalan's Binding, however, will deal with it here. All-out swing from Sean Ryder. Silver Girl Adept down for your Black-Severa's board has completely been cleared out by Sean, but he's still at 17 life. Just passes the turn right back. In comes a team for Sean.
It's a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah, Black-Severa just holding lands, extends the hand. And that is going to be a match win there for Sean Ryder's team. By the way, though, Sam Black, 2 games over Mike Zeimentz, has a match win for their team as well. So it is all down to table C, Justin Cohen versus Adam Johnston. Both teams currently on 9-2 here in round 12. This is very important. 3rd loss puts them out of top 4 contention.
And Adam Johnston, his deck we saw how explosive it has the potential to be. It's a blue-green Merfolk deck that just floods the board with creatures very fast. Justin Cohen's deck, in the last game, played out quite a bit grindier, but we know from looking at deck lists, he is a pretty aggressive black-white deck.
We'll see if he can get off to a fast start here in game 2. What do you think of the card Famished Paladin, by the way? We saw it in play last game for Sean Ryder. Cohen's going to take a mulligan.
I think it's a really risky card to take when you're drafting. I have taken it with a relatively early pick, around like 4th or 5th, and thought to myself, oh, well, I'm going to have more. Like, I already had a bunch of Martyrs. I think I had 2 Martyrs already. I was like, I can get more ways to gain life. I picked up 2 Squire's Devotions, and then still it ended up in my sideboard because I just felt like I didn't have enough to reliably be able to untap it. So it's a card where when you're playing sealed and you know that you have the tools to use it, to execute with it, that I think it's quite strong. Or if you're drafting and you see it later on when you know you already have the tools to work with, then it can be quite strong. But again, it's risky to use an earlier pick on that card instead of just picking up, say, some other 2-drop that your deck could play.
Sure.
Obviously, the upside of a 3/3 for 2 mana, though, is very high, and the fact that it sometimes functions as a 3/3 for 2 mana with Vigilance is just exceptional.
Jungle Delver, a quick start here for Adam Johnston, getting in for a single point of damage. And a follow-up play of a 2-drop, wow, revealing a Merfolk Silvergill. Adam to draw a card. Just an ideal start here for Adam Johnston.
As a reminder, you are still not permitted to offer or accept.
Justin Cohen starts out with a 2-drop here, but as you might be able to hear us behind our voices, there is an announcement. Pairings are being posted for round 13. We want to be able to bring you as much live Magic as possible, so we are going to have to call it here. I'm going to tell you who wins. Who do you think it is?
I'm going to say it's the team on the left.
And you are correct. They had a 1-game lead. Sam Black, Black-Severa, Justin Cohen advanced to 10-2 going into round 13 here at Grand Prix Indianapolis. More Magic from round 13 coming up after these messages.